Shalom and welcome to another in our series of podcasts from Temple Beth Am, a dynamic center for conservative Judaism in Los Angeles. This is Meditation and Mindfulness with Rabbi Adam Kligfeld.
Okay, good morning, everyone. Good morning to those who are here at Temple Beth Am in Los Angeles in person. Good morning to those who are on Zoom, including people who are in a car somewhere. Hopefully, either you're in a Waymo or someone else is driving. But certainly, if you're going to look at this, Pat is there. Hi. But, you know, in Los Angeles, that could be a Waymo. You could be driving by computer. And good morning to those who are joining on Facebook Live, either on my profile or the synagogue's page. And hello to anyone who is listening to this on the Temple Beth Am podcast. It's Friday morning. Heads up for next week that I will not be here. I will let people know. I'll try to let people know if Rabbi Chorny or Rabbi Shapiro is able to lead this. They try to do it when I'm not here, but I will be out of town next Friday. Okay. Lech Lecha. Nearly every rabbi or pundit who's ever said anything about any verse or any aspect of the Torah has also commented on the words Lech Lecha, one of the most commented upon letters of the Torah, particularly why the Lecha of the Lech Lecha. If you can think in Hebrew, you know that when you look at Lech Lecha, those look like they are the same length. It's Lamed Chaf, Safit. And what is the impact of the Lecha? Lech means go, it's a command. Lecha is extraneous, or at least it could be extraneous, right? Because the command of Lech is already God speaking to Avram, go. So the Lecha, remember in Hebrew, prepositions can mean very different things than they mean in modern English. Go to you, go for you, go on your account. What's being added? Rashi famously says it means letobatcha ulahanatcha. Go, Avram, for your sake and for your benefit. Don't just think that I'm sending you on a mission so that my name will be great in the world, but there's going to be some positive result accruing to you as a result of the fact that you're listening to my command. If you go onto Safaria and you click on this verse, sometimes there are 20 comments on a verse, sometimes there are 40. I think there are like 300 comments on Lech Lecha, because everyone said something about it. My favorite comment on Lech Lecha, at least for this week, comes from Rabbi Aharon of Karlin, a Hasidic Rebbe, I think 19th century. And he says the following: you might think that the purpose of a spiritual quest is to transcend the self, to actually sublimate yourself to the divine, which means you might think that when God initiates this to Avram, God is saying to Avram, go and stop thinking about you, because I want you to think about me. I want you to go beyond you, beyond needs, beyond ego. Obviously, Carlin didn't use that word, but you know what I'm saying. And go above whatever it is the individuality of you thinks you need, because I'm asking you to commit to something much grander, and that's a divine pathway. And Rabbi Avraham Karlin says, therefore, since the Torah does not want you to think that that's what's being required of Abraham, the Torah adds Lecha, go deep into you, Avraham. The purest way for you to find me is inside you. You're worth nothing as a spiritual seeker, as a Jew, if you have left yourself behind. There is some sacrifice in a life of faith, and there is some attempt to try to transcend only your own needs. But if it goes too far, you become self-abnegating, you forget who you are, you deny who you are, right? Then you're of no use in my attempt, God says, to bring the world to a more beautiful place. And I think it's a helpful reminder, because I think we can err in both directions. It's certainly possible to err in the direction of turning a religious life into a narcissistic quest, that I craft either consciously or unconsciously my religious life around my individual needs, right? Or I see religion through the prism of what I already know to be true. It's possible to go too far in that direction. I think it's also possible to go too far in the other direction, to think that to be religious, to be observant, to be Jewish, to be a God-fearing and a God-searching person, you have to surrender self. You have to get rid of self. And Rabbi Aharon Karl says that God says to Avram, go deep into you. Return to you. Licha. Find you. And in your deepest finding of the truest aspect of you, that's where I am. So I want to use that as a launching pad for our meditative moments this morning. I invite you, if you haven't already, to close your eyes. Feel the wonderful, heavy descent into your body. At some level, you are your body, you inhabit your body. But then in a moment like this, you realize that you have, or had, left your body, and now you're returning to it. Re-entering it, claiming it, delighting in it. If you haven't already, place your feet flat on the ground in front of you, your hands on your legs, palms up, which is a stance of openness to the world and to this moment, or palms down, which is a gentle way of embracing yourself. Bring some attentiveness, some kavanah to your nishima, your breathing, which also is attentiveness to your neshama, to your spirit, the part of you that is beyond corporeal, beyond sinews and tissue, part of you that lives in the mind and is connected to everything. We stray from our core all the time. We forget who we are, or we deny who we are. Navigate in your mind a journey back to the purest you right now. As if you are hearing God say to you, Lech lecha, lechi lach. Go back to you. How far is that path back to you? What or whom do you discover when you peel back the layers and you see you? You renew you. You re-embrace you. No pretense. No falsity. The you that is a combination of every influence of your life. And the foundational you that is different than every other creature. And as you rediscover you, can you hear God's call more loudly, more clearly in that place? Lech lecha. Go deep into you. Lechi lach. Find you. And there maybe you find God. begin to come to the surface. See if you can export from that deep return to self, something that is enduring, that can have legs, that can inform how you walk through this day and walk through this Shabbat and walk through this week. And also forgive yourself if some of the insights that come from that deep place are fleeting. That's just true of the human condition, that we can't hold on to and activate every burst of thought we ever have. We hope that it contributes to a kaleidoscope of the self, that in totality it impacts who we are. But every once in a while, something that happens deep in that place continues to be a North Star even when we come out from it. So I'm going to share the screen for those on Zoom, and we're going to say the closing prayer together. We'll say this 3 times. May we and all beings have happiness in the causes of happiness. May we all be free of suffering in the causes of suffering. May we all experience true happiness that has no taint of suffering. May we live in great equanimity, free from burdening attachment to loved ones and contempt for others, but rather with compassion for all. May we and all beings have happiness in the causes of happiness. May we all be free of suffering in the causes of suffering. May we all experience true happiness that has no taint of suffering. May we live in great equanimity, free from burdening attachment to loved ones and contempt for others, but rather with compassion for all. May we and all beings have happiness in the causes of happiness. May we all be free of suffering in the causes of suffering. May we all experience true happiness that has no taint of suffering. May we live in great equanimity, free from burdening attachment to loved ones and contempt for others, but rather with compassion for all. Say to you all shalom, namaste, and Shabbat shalom, and lech lecha.
You have been listening to another in our series of podcasts from Temple Beth Am, a dynamic center for conservative Judaism in Los Angeles. If you enjoy these podcasts, we invite you to write a review on the Apple Podcast site or wherever you get your podcasts. For more information about Temple Beth Am Los Angeles, go to tbala.org.